Welcome back to PyBytes YouTube, and today I wanted to talk about truthiness and falsiness, or what is true and false in Python. So first we will explore what the rules are for an object to be true or false. Then we look at the bool built-in to test if values or objects are true or false. And then I will quickly show you how you can implement bool or length in your own classes to give an indication if an object is true or false. So let's dive straight in. Ever wondered what is true and false in Python? There's actually a truth value testing documentation page that talks about it. I think it's easier to remember the ones that are false because the rest is basically true. So constants defined to be false, none and false, zero of any numeric type, so be it integer, float, decimal, etc., or empty sequences, so an empty string, empty tuple, list, set, dictionary, range. So those are false, and the rest are basically true. Now there's a built-in function bool, which you can use to evaluate if something is true and false. Also ask ChatGPT, and you get this nice answer of the generic rules. So Boolean values, true and false. Numbers, again, if they're zero. Strings and collections, if they're empty. None, it's always false. And custom classes, that's where it gets interesting, because then you get into dunder methods. And I'm going to show you an example of that shortly. It also gave me some really nice if statements. So if zero would always be false, if positive integer, also negative integer would be true. Empty string, false. Non-empty string, true. Empty list, false. Build list, true. None, always false. So those are the rules. Yesterday on Code Clinic, though, we had an interesting example. Somebody asked, how would you actually, of a custom class, determine if something is true or false? So let's actually check that out. So say I have a class that just manages a bunch of items. Of course, you can make this a data class, but just doing the full constructor for now. And here we make an instance. And then we can use dimension bool built in to see if it's true or false. So if I run this, I need to, of course, give it some items. 1, 2, 3. And that's true. If I give it an empty list of values, that's also true. And that's because there's no dunder len and there's no dunder bool to kind of determine if this object would be true or false. There's two ways of doing it. You can do bool. That needs to return a boolean. So you can have any statement here that results in a boolean, but I think it makes more sense to do the len implementation here, which should return an int, and then I can just return the length of self items. So if I make an instance with 0 items, then I expect this to be false because the length will be 0. And again, going back to the documentation, by default, an object is considered true. We saw that. Unless its class defines either a bool method that returns false or a length method that returns 0. So again, if I instantiate this object with 0 items, then length is going to return 0, and then it's false. However, if I instantiate it with some items, then length in this case is going to return 3, because the length of this list is 3. And then this object is true. So yeah, so for custom objects or classes, you can use the dunder bool or dunder length to indicate if something is truthy or falsy. And you can use the bool built-in function to see if something is true or false. You can also use it to just cast values. So if A is a list, then the type is list. But if you want it to be a boolean, then you can wrap it in bool. So then it returns this empty list, in this case, into false, because an empty list is false. Same if this would be an integer. This is now of int type. But if I pass that int into a bool, it converts it into a Boolean type. So this would be false. And as we said before, a minus value should be true. I hope that helps you navigate Boolean types. So again, there are pretty clear rules what's false and true in Python. And if you want to explicitly cast types to the Boolean type, then you can use the bool built-in. For custom classes, you can implement the bool or length dunder method to indicate if these objects are true or false. Dunder methods are at the heart of the data model in Python. So if you want to have me shoot one or more videos on those special methods, just comment below. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video.